Hey everybody, welcome back to
Runaway Routes. Hey everybody.
Hey everybody.
So we last left you in Shipshewana, Indiana, at the Shipshewana South Park Campground RV Resort and Spa. I can't remember what it was called.
Spa.
Had a hot tub.
Shipshewana Campground
South Park.
South Park.
Perfect. Very beautiful park.
Yes.
Very, very, very beautiful park.
So
from
now
there
we're
we
heading
headed to
into
why don't you
Ohio.
talk? Sorry. Yes, from Indiana we headed into Ohio.
Ohio. We headed to another KOA.
Correct.
It was called the KOA Thompson / Grand River Valley Campground.
Yes. Now, we could have done, obviously, parks and state parks and stuff like that. After our first Harvest Host, we kind of were like, we're not doing any Harvest Hosts. We're not doing any...
We pretty much wanted to hook up.
We wanted to make sure we had
time.
hookups the whole time until we really got our sea legs, because...
It was also summer, so it was
hot.
really warm, so you really want to make sure you're plugged into electricity.
It wasn't
more than
super hot.
anything.
Once we got up to Ohio and Indiana,
It
it
wasn't
started.
too bad.
It was getting more in our
Yeah,
temperature zone,
especially
but
at night.
it was. Yes, so we went there, and that one was an interesting. The drive, it was a little off the highway.
Yes.
And then you were kind of going down this long road, and then you saw like a sign KOA, and I'm like, was that there? Was that it?
I guess that was it.
So we kept going with Samantha, and she took us around through this little town, and then up this dirt rickety road, which probably would have turned into the road, which it did, into the road where we should have turned, because that's how
Right.
we went out the next morning.
Right.
So down this rickety road, all washboarded and everything, and then we got in. Fine getting in, had a little tight turns through the spots.
Arrival was fine. It was, beautiful. Like they've got a lake.
Beautiful
great
big lake.
Check-in. It just really cool. And at KOAs, they will usually lead you to your spot in a golf cart. So which is nice. But of course, they're taking us this route, mind you. We're still hooked up. The Jeep is still on.
And I had asked, and they said, "Oh, you'll be fine.
Yep.
You'll be fine."
So by the time we got to the area where we were supposed to go, going in wasn't too bad. Like,
No.
I remember you went down this road, and then it was a pull through again.
And I think that was the one where
I need
the KOA pilot was just eager to get to the spot, because I'm like, this guy is going
They were
super
like,
fast.
It's like, whoa,
Like
where'd you go?
I'm going like the 5 mile per hour speed limit, and he's
like, nope.
500 yards and pulling away. I'm like, where's this guy going?
It was definitely tighter spots.
It was, especially where we were.
Right.
But the fun really happened that night. I mean, first we had a nice meal. We hooked up. We went for a little walk, especially with Jimmy.
Yep.
Sat out by the lake.
Very nice.
Just until the bugs got to us. We just really
Right.
enjoyed the sunset on the lake and got some great photos.
Yep.
Then we came back and we were just kind of relaxing, washed up dishes and stuff like that. And then the water went out.
Yes.
So I called the number, the non-emergency number, and I said, "Hey, we don't have any water." Actually, first I went out, checked to make sure that I didn't screw something up, because
You never know.
it wasn't beyond possibilities. And so I called, and they said, "Oh yeah, the power went out on this side, and the power controls the water pump." So we still had power, just not water, because the other side of the park had no power or water, because the water pump for both was out.
That would have been rough.
So I said, "Okay, no problem." They said, "We're working on it." I said, "Okay, thank you very much."
Right.
And I think it was only a few hours before
didn't take
it
very long.
kicked back on.
Yeah.
They were very responsive.
And we weren't in need of water right away. So, and I think at that point you had filled up the freshwater
Yeah, we
tank,
had
so
water on board.
We were fine.
Yeah, we had learned that
obviously.
lesson at the first campground.
Right.
Fill up water. So then the extra fun came when we were leaving. So we were unhooked. Because I was concerned about the turns and the trees.
Yep.
So you followed around saying, "Oh, you're going to miss that tree by a little bit."
Again, on our trip from Texas to this point, we had gotten walkie-talkies.
Yes.
I think that was
at the Walmart. The very first stop, we got walkie-talkies.
Walkie-talkies are fantastic. They are great.
I know everyone likes to use their cell phones. if you've ever used a cell phone, especially for parking or something like that, there is a delay. It's got to go to a satellite and back down.
Right.
So there is a small delay.
Right. It's not horrible, but
when you're new, I didn't want any delay. I wanted
response.
instantaneous.
Right.
I wanted me to shout at her, "What?"
And we had seen a lot of videos where that is very common, is to have walkie-talkies.
Yeah.
As Drew as the pilot, me as his co-pilot. So
now we're not using the walkie-talkie sitting side by side.
No.
Just when she's out in the back saying, "Back it up."
But of course, at this point we're leaving. So he's pulling forward, and it's a tight left turn and then a quick right turn.
Yeah, it was a tight S.
So we almost took out someone's sign.
Yeah.
And I'm sure they have those so people don't hit their property.
We're the Johnsons. We almost took out the Johnsons' little sign.
Exactly.
But we didn't.
No, we were fine. So
and then we got around the corner.
All the way to the front.
To the propane section where we hooked up.
Drew hooked up the Jeep. Now he could do it. No problem.
No problem. Quick and easy.
We both get in the RV. And
we get to the exit gate, and that's when they were deciding to deliver.
Let's deliver ice.
Big,
at that exact moment.
Tons of ice.
Yeah, he was already there, and he already had a cart. So he could see we wanted to leave, but
it did not matter to him at one bit.
No,
he was like,
I got ice to deliver.
Okay, you're going to wait there.
So that was pretty funny, just waiting.
So the KOA people came up and said, "What are you waiting for?" And I said, "For the big truck of ice." And she looked, she goes, "Oh yeah, you're not going to be able to make it past that." So she went and got the ice guy and said, "Hey, you got to move the truck up."
And it was funny, I think at that point we were trying to also get some propane. We still had some, but I think it was half full or a quarter.
Not knowing how quickly we would go through it. So I was always trying to top everything off all the time.
So, but it seemed like there was always the person that usually does wasn't available, and it was always something was going on. We're like, it's all right.
But we got the ice truck moved, and we got out, and we were moving on to our next stop, which was a beautiful stop.
Yes.
Now we had water, we had an idea of how everything worked,
right?
So we were willing to get a little more adventurous.
Yes.
So we decided to do another harvest host, and we went to Elmira, New York, to the National Soaring Museum. Which is all about gliders and the different glider planes, and the director meets you. He calls and says, "Hey, what time do you think you're going to be there?" What was his name?
Trafford Doherty.
And
super nice guy.
So nice.
Really nicest guy we've met, especially with the harvest hosts, for sure.
Yeah, and very attentive.
Very accommodating for you. It was very easy. We parked in a parking lot.
Yeah, you park in the parking lot right along the runway. Yep. So it's like your parking lot, little strip of grass, the fence, more grass, and then the runway.
Exactly.
And we even got to see some planes taking off.
That was really cool.
It was really cool. And there was another smaller coach there.
Yes.
And I said, "Hey, it was getting a little warm." I said, "Are we allowed to run the generator, especially for power?"
Right.
And he said, "Yeah, absolutely, no problem." So we ran the generator that night, and it was fantastic. And then the next morning, because we got there right after museum hours, so in the morning we went and toured the museum, which is part of a harvest host. They want you to patronage. They want you to visit the site and give patronage spend a little money. And
so
we did the museum.
It was $15 a person.
And we could have just went into the gift shop and bought something, but the guy, Mr. Doherty, was so nice, and it looked so interesting and cool. And watching the gliders take off in the night previous.
I wasn't getting in a glider. You could have.
You could have done that.
Sign that up, but not me.
So we went through the museum, and there was a little film about the history, and then you walk around and you see all different gliders from World War II, as well as just the whole science behind it and how they've come along. And that was, and even a place where they kind of rebuild them. They had like a wood motorcycle and just
a couple dollhouses.
It was really a really cool place. And that's the thing that we do like about Harvest Host. We have our on again, off again love affair with Harvest Host, and one of the things we do like about it is it's something we would have never found on our own.
Oh yeah.
So it definitely has sparked our interest in kind of finding out of the way or obscure things to visit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Even if it's just in the Jeep. So,
and we had seen on Harvest Host, on their app and on their website, you can see other reviews from other people that have been there. And the reviews, all I can remember are people saying it's a really steep uphill up to this place. And I'm like, how steep could it be?
Right. And it wasn't that bad.
It really wasn't that bad.
It was steep, but it was gradually steep.
Yeah, it wasn't.
And then the back way down, he told me how to go down opposite of the way we came in, and it was super gradual.
Yeah.
It was fine.
Yeah.
And we really loved it there.
Yes.
So that was kind of how we wrapped up that section. And then we were really excited because from there, we were going to stop at another Harvest Host, but we changed our mind because we were going to stay 2 nights at the next stop because there was something there that I had wanted to do ever since I was a little boy, and even you were excited to do.
Yes.
And so we'll talk about that on the next episode.
All right.
So hope you're enjoying the runaway routes, and we'll see you on the next episode, and we'll talk about the next leg of the travel.
Yes, come join us in our next adventure.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.